Kentucky, Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our usual Wednesday night live stream. We're back from New Jersey, from the Everything Fab 4, Everything, that's right, Fab 4 Fest, celebrating Rubber Soul that was in Berkeley, New Jersey at the Berkeley Oceanfront Hotel.
Mikey said, hello, my STICKERMANIA family. I miss you guys. And then he said, love the shirt.
Thanks a lot, Mikey. I think we did a pretty good live stream down there Saturday night in New Jersey. Not down there, up there. And we need all our regulars to hit a like on that live stream. We're stuck at 25. We need to get to 50, so we get the, what do you call it, the rhythm to have more views. Add the rhythm.
Mr. Beatles Pro said, hi, guys.
Hi, Tom.
Polly Howett said, welcome home, STICKERMANIA family.
Hi, Polly.
We have to send her thing out.
Yeah.
Arthur Mustache said, how's it going out there?
How are you doing, Arthur?
Thomas Crooks said, hello, everybody.
How you doing, Thomas Crook?
Everyone, give us a like, please.
Like on that live stream last Saturday. We put a lot of effort in that live stream. Hour and 6 minutes in the Crystal Court showroom that they gave us.
No, that wasn't the Crystal. The Crystal Court showroom was upstairs. They gave us a different one.
But we had a nice room. There was a great big poster of a painting of Johnny Cash. They call it the Johnny Cash room that we were in. So it's pretty cool. I guess Johnny Cash and Gene Carter partly owned the hotel in the 1980s.
A Little Beatles Corner said, hi, Sticker family.
How you doing, Patricia?
John H. said, hi, Frank. I have a Rubber Soul question for you later.
Rubber Soul, go. What's your question?
North Carolina Vinyl Picker said,
how you doing, Arthur?
Danny Goldstein said,
Goldstein is in the house.
Nice meeting you all.
Thanks a lot, Danny Goldstein, for telling me about the 3 Week Hero album from 1968 by P.J. Proby that I ordered from the United Kingdom. There was only one available from the United Kingdom, and I got it on eBay the other day. So Vance is a Led Zeppelin expert, and he did a whole video on it. He says the 4 members aren't on every track, but the tracks that they are on is you can see the Led Zeppelin influence. What was the trivia question for you? What was the song that P.J. Proby did that was a song that never written by Paul McCartney that was never put on a Beatles album? P.J. Proby had a minor hit song with, what's the title of the song?
Patricia asked, was the convention a success?
They probably didn't make any money. I would say maybe there were 150 paying customers, and there was probably 50 or more vendors. So, but they're going to have the Revolver next year, and we've been invited, me and Mikey, and we asked to see if we could be on stage for an hour and do a presentation of collectibles and maybe a mini auction. So looking forward to doing that next year in November.
Everyone keeps saying that means a lot.
That means a lot. That is it.
Oh, well.
That is a song that Paul wrote that P.J. Proby did a better version than the Beatles did on the anthology.
John H.'s question was, can I tell by the cover if I have a U.S. stereo Rubber Soul with the extra reverb layer? With
the false start?
He said which was only on the East Coast pressing.
You're talking about the reverb. I thought the false start was on all the original stereos, but I could be wrong.
And Danny Goldstein said they need better advertising and need to start it on Friday, not Thursday.
Yeah, it was strange starting on Thursday, and then Sunday everybody was gone. We saw Ken Michaels when he was leaving I think he was leaving Saturday morning. No, he was leaving Sunday. Wasn't that right? Saturday morning to go to a David Bowie tribute.
Saturday.
So here's some of the people that me and Mikey met while we were in that room. We had Mark Lapidus, the founder of the Fest for Beatle Fans. He came in, and for about 25 minutes he told a lot of stories in his head about relating to Beatles. And he talked about how he met John Lennon when he was out playing golf once, which was a cool story. But Lapidus, I try not to interrupt him. He's older and he's like me. When you get a train of thought, you don't want to be interrupted. So he kept telling story after story. And then I finally asked at the end, are you going to write a book with all these stories you had? And he said, yeah, I've been working on it for 5 years. We saw Bruce Spicer. He was waiting to get a pizza in the little restaurant that was right across from our room. And he came in and talked to us for about 10 minutes. And we did a short video with Bruce Spicer. And Bruce Spicer was even nice enough when he ordered a pizza. He had extra slices that Sticker granddaughter and Sticker teenager went in there and sat with Bruce Spicer and ate pizza. So they got to eat pizza with one of the biggest experts and writers of books that exist on the planet Earth. So that was pretty cool.
A Little Beatles Corner, so I think it needs to be less expensive next year. And
they marked the price down. I think it was $88 on Saturday, and then I guess it was a half price after 5 o'clock. It was only $44.
Mikey said lots of women at the show.
Lots of women, yep, lots of women at the show. Talk about that, Mikey. Mikey had that Mary that was she was a social media. Give me this shirt. Social media. I think she worked for this company here, Online Ceramics, but I could be wrong. But that's what's on the back of this Beatles shirt that I had. She was talking about that, and she did a couple videos with Mikey Arugula. I was in the room, and she sang a little bit of "Girl" from Rubber Soul, and she was pretty entertaining. I think Mikey has like 6,000 views on that short video he did with Mary. Mary told a story where her aunt went to a Beatles concert in Boston. It must have been the Boston Gardens in '64, and she took in a jar to get the dust and the dirt off the stage after the Beatles left, and then she lost the jar in 1968.
Daniel Castillo said it's a shame we didn't get a re-release of Rubber Soul this year.
Yep, we hope that we get it sometime next year, or it seems like we'd have to. I'm kind of hoping they don't do a 60th anniversary reissue of the Butcher cover. I doubt if that'll happen. We met Kid O'Toole, came in when I talked about my Remco shipping box. She brought some people in there, and she's a real nice lady. She's a YouTube influencer on the Beatles, and she's wrote a lot of books on the Beatles and Michael Jackson. And Rob Leonard from Fab Four Free For All came in, and him and Mikey had about, I think about a 25-minute discussion. Rob sat down on a chair, and him and Mikey, I wasn't in the room the whole time, but Rob Leonard knows a lot about the Beatles, and he's trying to find out all the people that have collections and YouTube channels, anything related to the Beatles. He's going to make a reference book noting all of them. Danny Goldstein is in the audience tonight. He came in there on a, what day was he there? Friday. And we had a good time talking to Danny. Aaron Badsley, a Beatles author, came in, and he's wrote several Beatle books on the Beatles solo careers. David Applebaum, the Philadelphia Beatles dealer that was in our live stream, he had a lot of items down there for sale in the Beatles vendor room where the ballroom was. And I showed most of the things I got from him the other day in the short video, but I forgot to show the blue label, the rare blue label of from 1972 of Ringo Starr, Back Off Boogaloo.
John H. said there is a Rubber Soul East Coast version where Dexter added another layer of reverb over the album. It was only pressed on the East Coast. It has a W or X in the Matrix.
I probably have it. I'm gonna have to look that up and see what that's all about. Do you like the extra reverb or not?
Daniel Castillo said, Danny taught you how to say my full name right. Thanks a lot.
Yep. Goldstein.
And the other one,
I thought it was Castillo.
Oh, we're talking about Danny Goldstein. Now you're talking about Daniel.
We were talking about Danny and him.
Daniel, you say it, the last name.
Castillo?
Castillo.
I don't think it's Castillo. That's what I used to say.
It's written down Castillo.
So I think that's how you say it. John H. said yes, you can hear it at the end of.
You can put the shirt away in there.
That's my shirt. Yes, you can hear it. Oh.
Did you take the other Rubber Soul shirt that I had after I sold the?
No.
Sweatshirt. Maybe I sold the other Rubber Soul shirt I had.
You sold it to Arthur.
Yeah, the Arthur.
Oh, the black one. Okay. A couple other notes about our time there in New Jersey. There was a man, the farthest that came away from Scotland, and he came in early on Sunday, and I could hardly understand his thick Scottish accent, but he was a big Beatles collector, and within an hour and a half, he went around to the vendors' tables, and he filled up 3 bags. And he came back to our room.
You said Sunday, but you meant Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. He came back to our display room, and I must have looked like the only man there because I had expensive butchers and stuff that he could trust. So he gave me his 3 bags of things he purchased at the fest, everything Fab 4 Fest celebrating Rubber Soul, and I put it underneath our table, underneath the where nobody could see it. And he said he'd be back later to pick it up. And I thought he was going to pick it up at 8:30 after the live stream was over. But he came back about an hour later after he went to the bar. And he must have had 5 shots or something. He was pretty drunk. And I couldn't understand. I was talking to a Beatles collector at the table. And he was kind of leaning on my showcase. And he was just about ready to pass out. And then I finally said, "Can I help you?" And he said he wanted his 3 bags back. So I got them for him. But that was pretty cool. But he came all the way from Scotland. And then Arthur, we saw Saturday, and he was in our audience when we did the live stream. We had several people in the audience, and that added to it. And that's most of the people, the highlights of the people that came into our room, besides all the performers, all of the whole group of the Magical Mystery Girls came into our room, not all at the same time, but there are a lot of them are on Mikey Arugula's shorts where they're singing a short Beatles segment. They were pretty good down there in the ballroom. The Magical Mystery Girls, it looks like they're all in the Maryland. All their shows are on the East Coast, Maryland, New Jersey, Virginia.
Patricia said, Fab 4 Free for All rarely does videos on YouTube, but they're really thoughtful.
Yeah.
And it's Castillo.
Castillo.
Yeah,
Castillo. All right. I guess we got that right. I'll have to say that right all the time.
You're going to have to write it down.
Butcher covers. Talk about butcher covers a second. I'm going to show you these billboards.
Mikey was just adding that she had Beatle tattoos all over her body. One of them.
The drummer?
Yeah.
Or no, maybe it was the keyboard. No, it was the blonde with the glitter in her hair. Yeah. I think she said she got married about a couple weeks before that fest, and another clue for you all, you can figure it out. Mikey said there were a lot of women there. I'll say no more. Butcher covers. So I sold 2 second state butcher covers, my 2 that I had at the fest, for $2,000 each, just sold online in the last 24 hours. There's a YouTube channel in Germany. His name is Conjaman, and he's been on my video I did where I said I peeled my 300th butcher cover. He got pretty upset with me, and he says he made a comment. He said, "You do realize you are ruining great collectible item when you peel second state butcher covers." And then he also said, "Well, 40 years ago there were more second state than third states. Today it's vice versa. And no third state is worth more than a second state." And I strongly disagreed with him, so he doesn't like me much. We agree to disagree. What other thing? Oh, the WFMU record show that was in New York City last weekend with 100 dealers. A couple people that went to it have put out the rumor that a butcher cover was stolen at the record show. I didn't lose anything in New Jersey, but in New York, somebody stole a butcher cover at the big record show, I guess. That's what they're saying. That's my notes on there. Let's show some stuff on the table. I guess I got to do my chaperone moment and get it out of the way.
Do the Brad real quick.
Brad Parnell said, "I just discovered an old 60s commercials for the Beatles Okie toys that had a little old lady driving a hot rod in it."
All right. So this just came out today, or maybe a couple days ago, and I got it in the mail. This is a copper metallic 7-inch single of the song Subway. And on the B side, it has a song that Sticker Granddaughter is going to have to hear. I Hate It Here, a demo. And if you pull it up on YouTube, that song isn't on YouTube yet. I Hate It Here.
I hate it here too.
So my Chapel Roan moment is Chapel Roan. Was it Saturday or Friday? The 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Chapel, you put in thousands of hours to get your show perfect. I saw you in Franklin, Tennessee. It was an amazing show. Your team takes hundreds of hours to put your outfits together. Chapel, you can't take 2 hours to rehearse an induction speech before you say it. You went up there with you didn't practice it. You didn't have your contacts on. You used the F-bomb, and you acted like a nervous teenager. Chapel, that's not very professional.
Oh?
And before, when she was on the red carpet, Chapel had demands that all photographers had to be quiet and nice to her, or she was going to leave the red carpet. So none of the paparazzi or photographers, they were all quiet and they obeyed her rules. Chapel.
Do the comments real quick.
Okay.
Put that over there with our Chapel stuff.
Okay.
All right, I'm done with the Chapel Roan moment.
Mikey said, "I wish I was younger. This Mikey Rigolo gig is a chick magnet."
Yeah, you had the women coming up there talking to you. I'll say that.
Brad Purnell said, "I think I've heard her say that before." Mr. Bills Pro said, "Do you suppose that on Chapel Live feeds they talk about the Beatles?"
Oh, you don't like? Well, sorry. In my show, I always talk a little bit about Chapel.
Danny Goldstein said, "Uh-oh, Frank is losing it for Chapel Roan."
Huh. I just giving her a little bit of advice.
T-shirt Express said, "Good evening, everyone. Mr. Beatles Pro said she's a legend in her own mind. And Danny Goldstein said, looks like Mr. Moonlight is going to become our new focus. No more chaperone.
Huh, Mr. Moonlight.
And Mikey said that you made him listen to Chapel on the boardwalk.
Yep. Mikey listened to, when we were on the boardwalk, Mikey watched the video of Pink Pony Club. He wasn't impressed the first time, but I still say it's one of the best banger songs of the last 20 years.
He'll love it eventually.
He'll go to a karaoke bar or something, or a fitness club, and they'll be playing, and he goes, why are they playing this song? So I did my workout today on my mini trampoline, and I got another pressing of Magical Mystery Tour 1977 German pressing A1 B3 True Stereo, and it's an emotional experience when I listen to this album. Side 1 I listened to today. Magical Mystery Tour, Full of the Hill, Flying, Blue Jay Way, Your Mother Should Know, and I Am the Walrus. It's like this and the Beatles for Sale, and the Sgt. Pepper Nimbus Supercut in the first press UK of Abbey Road, as close as you ever be to being in Studio 2 at Abbey Road Studios, seeing the Beatles play right in front of you.
You ever seen that?
Seen what?
Mikey said, I really can't remember the tune.
Huh. You gotta listen to it again, Mikey.
Listen to it 10 times a day like Frank does.
The first time I discovered that song, Sticker Teenager will tell you I must have played it 30, 40 times. I went down to the rabbit hole big time. All right, let's show some more things. Talked about the German Magical Mystery Tour, and this is not for sale. I've sold about 100 of these in my lifetime. I'm keeping this one for myself. I'm starting to become a collector a little bit again.
If you get us 20 likes, I will pie Sticker Kid in the face.
A pie in the face?
Yep.
All right, let's show what's on the table.
Danny Goldstein said, Frank, I still can't get over that sealed Nimbus Supercut you showed me the picture of. Amazing.
Yeah, I had a sealed Nimbus Supercut. I've had 2 of those in my possession, and I had a sealed Australian Audio 5 Sgt. Pepper. And the man that owns both of the sealed ones in England, he has the sealed Nimbus Supercut up on Discogs for $20,000 now. I didn't sell it for $20,000. I sold it for $7,500. And I got it from Chad Kassem of Acoustic Sounds. And I told the story how he called me one day here and I wasn't up. And he goes, is STICKERMANIA here? Is Mr. STICKERMANIA here? And I called him back right away and made a deal with him to get the Nimbus Supercut. And the part of the deal was I had to finish his East Coast Butcher cover. And he was happy with the way I finished it up for him. It was halfway peeled and I finished it up for him. All right, talked about that. We got the chapel done.
Leave that Daniel real quick before you move on.
Daniel Castillo said, I actually came across your channel after I saw you listed your first Supercut on eBay. Been here ever since.
All right.
Oh, ready?
And that goes into everything you just talked about.
The Mikey Arugula sent me, I got a shirt on. He sent me a video today of the Beatles when they were on the Morecambe and Wise TV show in England, late 1963. And they did I Want to Hold Your Hand, and I think they did This Boy, and they finished up with Moonlight Bay. And that's the video he sent my son of them singing Moonlight Bay. And how that relates to me is my grandmother, when she couldn't speak anymore her last 5 years, and my uncle Hank took care of her. The last thing that she could remember in her brain was if somebody played Moonlight Bay for her. And at the funeral, my uncle and the relatives all sang Moonlight Bay. So That's my Beatles association with my grandmother. All right, let's show some things. Billboard.
Rob Cornell says, speaking of modern young female singers, have you heard Paris Jackson? She has a great duet with the Struts. It's called Loki in Love.
Paris Jackson, Michael's daughter.
Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But she also said that she has a problem with her nose because she did too much cocaine in her lifetime.
Oh my gosh.
Billboard magazine. I found these two in my collection. May 2nd, 1964. And guess what is number one on the charts? May 1964. You got Can't Buy Me Love at number one. Can't Buy Me Love at number one. Hello Dolly's number two. The Beatles are number three with Do You Want to Know a Secret? The Dave Clark Five number four with Bits and Pieces. My Guy from Mary Wells is number 5. 6, Don't Let the Rain Come Down. Something Singers. Twist and Shout, the Beatles are number 7. Suspicion with Terry Stafford at 8. Dead Man's Curve by Jan and Dean is number 9. And Ronnie by the Four Seasons was number 10.
Mikey Rigolo said, Beetle Don told me today about how he got a sealed Adam V.
Roots?
Yes.
Adam 8?
Mm-hmm.
All right. He got a sealed one?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow. Gary Hine had the only, he had the collection of, he had like 25 sealed Roots. It must have been 20 years ago. I bet the one you have there, Beetle, Ron?
Beetle Don.
Beetle Don.
Beetle Don came from his collection. That would be worth a fortune. You'd have to see if it had the insert. You have to see John Lennon's shoulder down there at the bottom of the cover. And the printing has to be pretty clear on the advertisements on the back of the cover.
8-track.
Oh, he got an 8-track. Yeah, well, Gary Hine got a lot of 8-tracks when he bought that collection also.
John H. said, Bits and Pieces is a real banger.
Yep, Bits and Pieces. The top 10 on May 2nd, 1964 was the Beatles' second album was number 1. Meet the Beatles was 2. Hello Dolly was 3. The soundtrack Introducing the Beatles were 4, so they had 3 out of the top 4 on the album charts. Number 5 is Honey in the Horn by Al Hurt. Kissin' Cousins by Elvis was number 6. Glad All Over, the Dave Clark 5 was 7. Barbra Streisand, the third album, was 8. Dawn by the Four Seasons was 9. And In the Wind by Peter, Paul, and Mary was 10. And I got another billboard. This one I just found and I didn't know it had a picture of the Butcher. This is 2 weeks after the Butcher cover was pasted over. And it has the first advertisement before the Yesterday and Today got on the charts. This was after the whole weekend, 2 weekends after it was covered up, and there you go. The first advertisement for the trunk cover. School's out, get ready. And on the bottom it says, remember how helped last summer? Here's more hot weather relief. 11 great Beatle hits, 5 of them brand new. This is from June 25th, 1966. And you know, the weekend of the 11th and 12th, I think, is when the Butcher cover was pasted over. The top paperback writer was number 1. Let's see the rest of the top 10. You got a full page ad for Bob Dylan For the Blonde on Blonde, the single that was released was I Want You. And now let's get to the top 10. So Paperback Writer was number 1 right before the Yesterday and Today went on the charts. Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra was number 2. Painted Black by the Rolling Stones was 3. And it was number 1 the week before that. Did You Ever Have to Make Up Your Mind? Loving Spoonful was 4. I Am a Rock, Simon & Garfunkel was 5. Red Rubber Ball was number 6 by The Circle. You know, they opened for the Beatles at Shea Stadium in '66. And Paul Simon wrote that song, Red Rubber Ball. And Brian Epstein was the manager of the Circle group. Number 7, Barefootin' by Robert Parker was 7. Cool Jerk by the Capitals was 8. You Don't Have to Say You Love Me by Dusty Springfield was 9. And 10 was Sweet Talking Guy by the Chiffons. And on the album charts, you have number 1 was What Now, My Love by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. Mamas and Papas were 2 with If You Can Believe Your Eyes and Ears. Whipped Cream and Other Delights was number 3 by Herb Alpert. I just sold a Whipped Cream cover at my South Louisville Antique Toy Mall for $20 last week. Dr. Zhivago was number 4, the soundtrack. Sound of Music, the soundtracks were big then. Number 5, The Sound of Music was number 5. The Shadow of Your Smile by Andy Williams was number 6. And you know that Andy Williams is who my parents took me to see at the Indiana State Fair 2 days after the Beatles were there in '64. And where are we at? Going Places by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass was 7. Herb Alpert had 3 albums in the top 10. Wow. And Big Hits by the Rolling Stones was number 8. The Shadow of Your Smile, Johnny Mathis was 9. And Lou Rawls Live was 10.
I'm the boss and I'll be allowed to die. Guy said hi, gangsta, and I love from Vancouver. Cocaine is never enough and a lot is way too much. A great way to lose everything.
I'm talking about the Paris Jackson.
Yep.
I got this in an auction the other day. Macintosh advertisements, and this is the one of the amplifier that I have from 1973, the 5100. And my Beatles for Sale, Mr. Moonlight sounds pretty good on it. All right, I got this in an auction last week. I think it's a pretty cool piece. One Direction, no, they're not Beatle wingdings, but they're One Direction from about 10 years ago. Shoes in perfect new old stock with the tag. And it's got Harry and all their names. Liam, he's the one that tragically jumped off the balcony. And I don't know all the members' names, but these are perfect size, perfect shape, old stock, size 10. I got them up on my STICKERMANIA 2853 eBay store. New old stock from 10 years ago, One Direction. Liam, Harry, Niall, Lewis, and Zane. It's on my STICKERMANIA 2853 eBay store.
George Music for all 4 seasons.
You want to put that? You want to put that?
And
on?
then I'm the boss not be a lot of that guy said I would frame the ads from the Billboard magazines, and the actual magazine is too bulky unless it's a real special issue.
Yeah. That ad for the trunk cover is pretty rare.
North Carolina Vinyl Picker said I got 20 copies of Whipped Cream Frank.
All right.
Beatle Lover 67 said I love you, Beatles.
There's a record store that was here in Louisville that's not open anymore, and he had a whole wall of those whipped cream covers.
Danny Goldstein said, oh, nice Macintosh. Mr. Beatles Pro said, Adam at Record Great has over 100 copies of Whipped Cream. George Music from Four Seasons said,
Give me those 2 boxes of shirts. We were talking about that auction.
her
I got
Alpert was not huge in the 1960s, traded with the #1 album chart position with the Beatles a couple of times, not if one.
So in that auction last week that I went and picked up before I went to New Jersey, I got a Rolling Stone t-shirt and sweatshirt lot, and this is a size, perfect shape, size large of the Rolling Stones Some Girls. Our sticker granddaughter will probably get this. And I got a large shirt that I'll wear in one of my live streams of the Rolling Stones with a big tone.
I'm the pool should not be allowed. That guy said I have a Jimmy Page advertisement for.
Oh, Jimmy Page, here's my Led Zeppelin shirts. Here's a size extra large, a celebration day. I'm gonna put this up on my STICKERMANIA 2853 eBay store. Celebration Day, that great concert the Led Zeppelin did in 2003. And then it wasn't released for 4 years until 2007. We got the Brown Bomber, Led Zeppelin 2, and I can't find the size right now. Pretty sure it's a large, the Brown Bomber, although this is a black shirt. I got a brown shirt of the Brown Bomber also. And I got a Led Zeppelin size large of the Swan Song logo. So those are my some of the items I won in an auction last week in Indiana. Can you get that back over there? And then show me that Wings of the World and those 2 shirts there behind your drink before you get your drink all over my stuff. Be careful.
My water?
Is it? Well, it's not good to put water on something.
Yell at me again, and we're gonna have an issue.
Gotta be careful around collectibles. Wings over the world, size large. I got this in that auction, and somebody told me that this Beatles and mono was only available at record stores. They had a short supply of these when you bought the Beatles and mono box set in 2014. It's dated on this 2014 from Apple. So that's a pretty cool shirt. I'll probably keep that for myself.
Danny Goldstein said, "Oh, Frank, I got
Here, can you take a... All right, I'm gonna open this poster, the sealed 1968 look banner poster here in a second. This is my yesterday and today rare 1969 issue, record club issue with the 3 bars on the top, and it has an extra 8 in the
dead wax.
In the catalog number.
Dang it.
Nice try.
God.
I'm not always talking about dead wax. So instead of ST2553, it has an 8 after the ST. Well, what makes this rare, it's got the black rainbow label before they switched to the green label. And Perry Cox sold one of these for $4,000 a few weeks ago. And it does have a COA from Perry Cox that it is in excellent condition.
Danny Goldstein said, "Oh, Frank, I got a new auction catalog from Headeridge today that's filled with 150 pages of nothing."
Rolling Stones. Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mikey told me about that too. I looked at it a couple days ago because I'm registered for the Heritage Auction. They sent me the first day that Rolling Stones was available, that lot of auctions. I think it's like 5, how many pages? 5 pages. A lot of rare stuff, a lot of rare autographs. We'll be bidding on it. And I'm sure Danny Goldstein will be bidding also. All right, let's put the butcher or the yesterday and today away.
I'm the boss should not be allowed. That guy said I paid $25 for the copy of 45 Ringo I Love Yo by John H. Jominson. That was actually Cher. And it didn't get that much radio play because DJs thought her voice sounded like a man.
Who's that?
Cher.
Share.
Cher. Yeah, I found a mono unplayed pressing of a Sonny and Cher album today in my garage. Orchestra, here's the Rolling Stone things before I clear off the table. This is a ticket for the Rolling Stones at the Academy of Music on October 24th. And this was handed out the same time because Sir Sid Bernstein was promoting all his shows, so that's a rare promo piece from Sid Bernstein advertising the Rolling Stones will be November 6th. Our next concert is with the Rolling Stones November 6th. And on the bottom he says the Rascals are coming. He promoted the Young Rascals also. And an unused ticket. When the Rolling Stones broke wide open after Satisfaction and Paint It Black from the War Memorial Auditorium, Rochester, New York. And the ticket was $3.50. This is 1965, November, after Satisfaction was released, and about the same time Paint It Black came out. And there is this 1966 full-page ad from the Los Angeles newspaper advertising the Rolling Stones at the Hollywood Bowl, and a small ticket stub that was left from the Hollywood Bowl when they saw the Rolling Stones. All right, let's open up this poster. See if it's the real deal. That outtake that they're showing on Anthology 4 is for the song You Won't See Me. I think that's what it is. But anyway, in the beginning of it, Lennon talks about Lonnie. And this is a 78 of Lonnie Donegan doing Rock Island Line on Decca Jazz label. There's Mick Jagger when he was on stage and they were selling out shows after Satisfaction came out. For Mikey Arugula, we'll show this Freddie and the Dreamers one more time. That's the box that the trading cards came in from 1965. Donruss Company out of Memphis, Tennessee. Freddie and the Dreamers at the end of the box. Real nice shape. That's a full set of the cards. I think it's 66 cards. But when you take off all the cards and make a puzzle of them, the puzzle becomes that picture right there. This picture came from the Connie DeNavi estate collection that I won in Indianapolis.
Who's Connie DeNavi?
That book, I don't have it right here right now.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a pinback button for Freddie and the Dreamers. And when we saw Bruce Spicer, and he was talking about Dave Dexter when he did the talk at the ballroom at the Fest, everything Fab Four Fest celebrates Rubber Soul. He said Dave Dexter was given 2 songs to release from England, and it was Freddie and the Dreamers, I'm Telling You Now, or the Beatles doing She Loves You, and Dave Dexter picked Freddie and the Dreamers. But Freddie, that I'm Telling You Now, maybe it didn't go to #1 right away, but it did go to #1. All right, let's open this poster that I keep delaying.
Gosh dang it.
All right, let's see if this look poster is the real deal. So instead of She Loves You, which would have broke wide open in late 1963, Dave Dexter picked I'm Telling You Now by Freddie and the Dreamers. All right, here we go.
Elvis Cup Guy said hello, STICKERMANIA.
How you doing, Elvis Cup Guy?
Danny Goldstein said the best part was when Bruce did the Freddie.
Bruce did what?
The Freddie.
Yeah, Bruce did the Freddie up on stage, and he almost fell down, but he did a pretty good job. And one thing Mikey and I didn't realize that Bruce is a bit shorter than me and him. But Danny Goldstein is a lot taller than us. All right, here's the look poster. Never been opened before. Late 1967, late early 1968. The banner poster, and it is the real deal. It's got copyright 1967 by NIM Enterprises down there in fine print. So that's the real deal. It's been rolled up there for, what would that be, 58 years. So that's pretty cool. That goes with my John Lennon look poster I have over here. Can we show that real quick?
Mikey said I never liked that look poster.
You never liked, I know, I don't like the banner poster. There is the John Lennon original 19 look poster. And Mikey, I got this back again to show you because you were asking about last weekend. I think you're interested in this. This is all has to do with Brian Epstein. Original big old flyer. Look how long that thing is. Brian Epstein in association with Radio London presents Star Scene 65. You got a Phil Everly autograph up here by his face. And you got Lonnie Blair and his kick dancers. That was the man that choreographed. He was a choreographer of the dancers in the Hard Day's Night movie. You got the Allen Edison Band, which I don't know, the Marinettes. Patty, Kloss, and Gibson came on next. And there's Klaus Vorman that did the Revolver album cover and the Anthology album cover. You have Cilla Black, who was a checked in coats at the cavern before Brian discovered her. Her name originally was Cilla White. You got Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas. They had the first big song in the United States written by the Beatles, Bad to Me. And then the Everly Brothers was the main group. Let's see if the back is the same thing.
Mikey said, now that poster I love, how much?
$150 there, Mikey. Look, and even the back has got different pictures. That's a cool thing. Different pictures on the back. Star Scene 65. Everly Brothers, Cilla, and Billy J. That will look good in a big frame there in your office there, Mikey. You want it, Mikey? Let's see. A couple purchase history that I've got coming in here in the next week. I didn't buy much the week before. I went to New Jersey, but I'm in the buying mode again, especially since I saw 2 butcher covers. I got an original 1967 Monterey International Pop Festival. I got was in an album box, but I have the original program that the Beatles did a I think there's a picture of it in here. If I can find it. There's a picture that the Beatles they painted for the Monterey Pop Festival because they didn't come there. There was rumors they were going to show up, but they didn't. They made that painting. That's in the program. I have a Lady Madonna original promo. I showed Mikey how this was original. Mikey's supposed to check to see if his is. Got to have a greenish yellow, and it has to have an asterisk in the dead wax. This is the one that has the extra ending, the flute ending on the end of the song. The only time it was ever released that way officially. It's a promo for Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane from late 1967. I got that from David Applebaum. And I have a Lady Madonna that I purchased that I have next week. I have a real rare picture sleeve of the Rolling Stones for Dandelion and We Love You coming in from 1967. I have another 2014 Beatles and Mono box set where everything's sealed inside it. I have a 1963 VJ 522 promo, white label promo of From Me to You coming. And that's the label where it says McCartney Lennon instead of Lennon McCartney. And I have the Love 2 LP soundtrack coming. Somebody told me at the fest that they really like the Love soundtrack, the way they mix the Beatles songs together. George Martin and his son Giles. And those are most of my notes.
Good night.
This is the picture sleeve for Strawberry Fields. Somebody said I needed this to go with this promo, but I do have it. Got the Beatles baby pictures on the back and the Beatles with mustaches on the front. That's what kind of freaked everybody out the first time they saw the Beatles with mustaches on the Dick Clark American Bandstand. Mikey was asking about this the other day. The Beatles 1969 release of the White Album on Ampex, 7.5 inches per second. That has all the Paul is Dead edits, Volume 1. This is about the rarest Beatles reel-to-reel there is. The only time that any release was ever released with the Paul is Dead edits, official release. This one's sealed, part 2. So you got Paul is Dead edits on I'm So Tired and Dear Prudence and Glass Onion and Don't Pass Me By, Why Don't We Do It in the Road, Your Blues, Helter Skelter, Revolution Number 9, and Can't You Take Me Back. That whole section is completely edited out on these reel-to-reels.
Okay.
Any question?
Nope. It's been 52 minutes.
A few more minutes. Got any questions? Show a few more things.
And Mikey wants you
Well,
to
at the
give him
end
a
of the
bargain.
hour, what?
Mikey wants you to give him a bargain.
Bargain, 150. That's 150 ship, Mikey.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you 130. I'll give you $20 off since you helped me out last weekend. How about that? Here's John Lennon, a photo from Joel Glacier. He had a lot of photos from the original negatives in the 70s he would sell. Got Joe Glacier stamp on the back. John Lennon when he was on the Monday Night Football with Howard Cosell. And I have found this in a collection, a handwritten note from a lady that saw John Lennon in May 16th, 1975, when he did that weekend promotion at that radio station in Philadelphia, I think. This is what she says. I got this autograph May 16th, 1975. My girlfriend told me she heard on the radio that John was at the WFIL near Channel 6. John was always my favorite Beatle. I scrambled for pen and paper and drove there hoping to meet John. There was about 25 fans around him. I remember his hair looked orange in the sun. I asked him for his autograph, to which he said, sure. Very nice experience. He was extremely nice to me, Patricia. No, I don't have the autograph on him. The David Applebaum at the Everything Fab Four Fest, he had one, and Mark Lapidus, he has an autograph from that day. Boom, boom, boom. What else do I have to show? The other things I got from... I don't have a stereo rubber sole here right now. Got this from David Applebaum, a perfect near mint unplayed condition of World Without Love in the shrink. And this is what Gary Hine used to say about pressings that were in this kind of shape. He said, shiny like a mirror. Frank, it's shiny like a mirror. Gary Hine, one of my Beatle friends that's no longer with us. We talked about Beatles for sale.
Talk about everything.
A couple things I got in the auction when I got all those shirts. I got this police 4 CD set. It's called The Police Message in a Bottle, the complete recordings of the police. And I got these from the retired DJ on the East Coast. And I also got the 2 CD set that's supposed to be pretty rare of the Dave Clark 5. They had their own jet that had DC-5 on the front of the jet. Talked about that.
Good night.
A few more minutes. You got any questions to finish this off?
No.
Rubber Soul. A revolver with the hype sticker just went off on eBay. It was about $500. This is my 1966 probably pressing of Rubber Soul. This is a mono. Got the hype sticker for Michelle right on the shrink there on the top. Says, hear Paul sing Michelle, original Beatles version. And that's my name tag when I was a vendor at the fest. And Mikey, your collection of the Paramount. This is the girl, her fan club. I'll have to send this to you if I send you the poster. That's her official membership card. Official, the certified charter member of good standing, and her name was Debbie. That can go along with your collection. And we got this at the fest from David, the Beatles vendor. I think it's pretty rare because it has George on the bottom. I'm a Beatles fan. In case of emergency, call George. Because most all of them had Paul or Ringo on the bottom. Mikey was interested in this, but it's in pretty rough shape. I hate the Beatles, but it's a rare button. Try to explain to people at the fest about how rare this picture is from the Connie Denave negatives, where all 5 Rolling Stones, the first day they were in America, are doing the nankers at the same time. That's where you pull your eyes and your nostrils out at the same time. Mostly it looks like they're pulling their nostrils out, but Bill Wyman's got some fingers pulling his eyelids also. But it's the only picture I know where they were all 5 doing it at the same time. The ones that liked to do it the most were Keith Richards and Brian Jones. But they're at the Kennedy Airport, the first day in America. I think would have been in June. All right, I think that is it from Louisville, Kentucky. This went by pretty quick. Original Please Please Me has not original. This is the one came from Holland. Notice how it has the 100th anniversary of 100 years of recorded sound on there. Makes it different. And got some Who items from the auction when I got all those shirts. This is a German pressing of the Who. I opened this up, it was sealed, called Best of the 60s. Pretty cool. It's got some pretty audiophile pressing of that. And I got this Beatles or the Who Rarities Volume 1 from England, 1966 to 1968. And
have a good night.
One other German pressing that really sounds good, this 1974. It's in the shrink of Goodnight Vienna. I've never heard this album sound so good before. The No song and the Goodnight Vienna and Snookeroo and Only You really sounds good on this pressing. It's got GEMA on the label, which means it was made in Germany. The Germans were professionals at mastering records in the 70s. They had the best equipment in the world.
Okay.
I think that is it. Sticker granddaughter's going to say goodbye, I think. She's about halfway out of the room already. And we will be back on Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and hopefully I'll get something in new to show. See you later. Thanks.